It seems that Wizards of the Coast has finally answered our prayers and given us an Enchantress style commander that isn't about drawing cards. And who would that commander be? Why, it's Calix, the new version of the Desparked Planeswalker that came in the Aftermath set. So, for those who don't know what Calix does, let's take a quick look. Calix Guided by Fate. It's a 2/2 human druid for one, a green and a white that says Constellation, which means whenever an enchantment is entering the battlefield, you get a trigger. Whenever Calix Guided by Fate or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature that includes himself. So if he's by himself, he's a 3/3. And whenever Calix or an enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may create a token copy of a non-legendary enchantment you control. Do this only once each turn. So the way this is set up is you either have Calix make contact or you put auras on other things and have them make contact, and then you can copy other enchantments. And it's not just auras that you can copy, it is other enchantments. But we do have a wider range of auras in this deck to help us get those triggers off of Calix. So let's take a look at the rest of the deck. First column is our usual protection suite of just things that give hexproof, phase things out, that kind of stuff. Mana rocks and mana extraction from our deck in the next column. This seems like a very random card in the deck. It's a copy of Second Harvest. This is here because we're making token copies of all these enchantments. So you can do like a burst and double up all those tokens you've made off of Calix and get extra copies of them. This column is the Enchantments Matters column. This is things that interact with our enchantments and our auras and do things for us. Things like Generous Visitor, putting counters on things. Shram lets us draw cards when we cast auras. Kami of Transience gets bigger with every enchantment we cast. Sithis draws us cards whenever you cast an enchantment. Catilda looks at our enchantment count and gets bigger. Arcana Sun's Grace has a constellation trigger of creating Pegasuses when we do our casts. And then we also have Halvar, God of Battle. This thing is really, really good here because we have so many auras in the deck. Anything we have an aura on, if Halvar comes down, we can either move that aura over to another creature, or we can just like, okay, here it is. It's a double striker now. Have fun dealing with it. And that thing double strikes and comes crashing through. And then we also have the original Calix in here just as a removal spell, and it's on theme with the deck. And then the next column is regular enchantments that are things that are good to copy in the deck. We have things like Banishing Light and Borrowed Time. If you get this down and you start copying these, you can just be like, I'll take that, that's going away. And you'll get people to scoop really fast if you start copying these things. We have In the Trenches in here as a good Lords type card to give all of our stuff bigger stats. You copy those over and over again. They get bigger and bigger and bigger. Same thing with Mirari's Wake, which also doubles our mana up on our lands if we can get that going. Unnatural Growth is really good because if you make a copy of this, it'll double and then it'll double it again, and then it just keeps stacking up. Glorious Sunrise, you get 2 sets of triggers if this is done up. Cathar's Crusade, you'll get multiple counters if you start copying it. And then we have Parallel Lives and Anointed Procession in here to make duplicates of those tokens. So if you have an Anointed Procession or a Parallel Lives down and you copy the Parallel Lives, you'll get 2 more, so you'll have 3 of them on the board all at once. And if your opponent has no way of dealing with enchantments in mass, they're probably going to lose. And then this column is all of the auras that we have in the deck. This is just stuff that we need to either stack up on our creatures or use on their creatures to get triggers and stuff to get going. We have things like Cartouche's Solidarity. Ethereal Armor, this gives us a second version of all that glitters, basically. It gives +1/+1 for each enchantment you control, and it has First Strike for 1 mana. Whereas you have All That Glitters, which does the same thing for artifacts and enchantments, but it costs 1 more mana. So it gives us a kind of a redundancy copy. We also have Audacity in here to give +2/+0 and Trample. The Trample is kind of important because it's great that we're stacking up auras on some of these things, but if they can't punch across, then it doesn't do us a lot of good. That guy's supposed to be over here. And then we have Rune of Might, gives Trample. Citizen Training gives Trample. Fight. If you stack up 2 auras, this plus 1 other aura, it gets Lifelink and First Strike, and then it also gives +2/+2. And that's also a good one to make this a great thing to copy. We also have Hydra's Growth, multiple counters, multiple doubling of the counters on them. Face Fetter shuts down their stuff. Mantle of the Wolf, +4/+4 for 4. And if the thing goes to the graveyard, you get more things to put things on. Verdant Embrace, +3/+3 makes Saplings. Prodigious Growth, +7/+7 and Trample. And then, because I could not resist, Colossification, 7 casting, 20/20 on a creature. I mean, if you get to untap with this, you're probably going to win. And then this column is just stuff that is good to throw these auras onto because it makes them bigger, gives you some benefit. Things like Esper Sentinel, you're going to make it bigger so you can swing with it. Also, it makes it so they have to pay more if they want to keep you from drawing cards. Segovian Angel does a cheap little flyer that this thing can get gigantic. I think there's a game, I already recorded the footage. She's like a 20 power angel, and it's just nuts. Flutterfox, it gains flying as long as you have an enchantment. So it's a good little 2/2 for 2. But if you slap an aura on it, it's a flying whatever once you have it on there. Illuminator Virtuoso, double striking 1/1 that becomes a target of a spell, you connive. So if you slap auras on it, you start to connive and it gets bigger on its own there. Plus, you can use Calix's ability to move counters onto things to make it bigger and make it a bigger threat all the time. Twin Blade Guy, same kind of thing as the Virtuoso, but just doesn't have the connive ability, but you can start stacking counters on it. And it has the ability of, if it dies, it becomes another aura for the deck and grants double strike to whatever we want to slap it onto. Everdawn Champion does not die in combat, so it's just great to throw a bunch of auras onto and swing in with. And then Thrawn, Breaker of Silence. If you've seen my deck on this thing is a nutty card, and it is very, very, very hard to kill, and it makes a great thing to slap a bunch of auras onto and just smash face. And then the last column before the lands here is cards that are either newer or things that I, want to bring like a focus onto. Weaver of Harmony, I've never used this card before. I haven't had a reason to use it, but it's a 2/2 for 2. It says other enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1. Well, we have a few of those, including Calix. But the big thing here is the activated ability. For a green and tap, copy target activated or triggered ability from an enchantment source, and you can choose new targets for that copy. So if you copy Calix's trigger on the damage that's dealt, you get an additional token off of it. Instead of, you can only do this once per turn, well, you can copy the effect and get it again. So you can actually really go nuts with it. We have Ancestral Mask, which is probably the best aura in the entire deck. The enchanted creature gets +2/+2 for each other enchantment on the battlefield. And if this thing starts getting copied, you're going to have enormous creatures that are very hard to deal with. And then we have 2 new cards from the Aftermath set that I wanted to highlight. We have Cosmic Rebirth. 1 green-white instant. Choose a permanent card in your graveyard. If it has mana value 3 or less, put it on the battlefield. And if you don't, put it into your hand, and you gain 3 life. So, like, if they start blowing up your auras, your enchantments, some of your smaller creatures or whatever, Cosmic Rebirth can get it back straight to the battlefield. And even if it's a bigger thing, you can bring it back to your hand and recast it later. And then we also have Danitha New Benalia's Light. I pointed this out in my video when I was talking about Aftermath cards. This is the running mate for this deck for Calix. For 1, a green and a white, it's a 2/2 human knight with vigilance, trample, and lifelink. And then once during each of your turns, you can cast an aura or equipment from your graveyard. Well, auras are always the big deal of, well, you're going to get 2 for 1 because you're going to lose the aura that was on the creature that just got blown up for 1 spell. Well, with this, you can recast auras from your graveyard that either got blown off of something that got destroyed or maybe got milled away. It's a great way to recover some of the value we've lost when those things go away. And then we just have our basic lands. Besagers are in there, all the green-white lands. And I'm just noticing that I didn't put any of the 5-color lands in here, but that's okay. The deck didn't really need it. So that's the deck. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll talk to you after the gameplay. Huatli, the Sun's Heart. Okay. Toughness Matters deck. Gotcha. This is a garbage hand. Not going to keep this. That's a little better. So far, it has been the story of the Salty Scoop. This is my 5th game of the morning, and I have yet to get anything decent recorded because I got ran over and mana screwed in 1 game. 1 person didn't show up, another one scooped after 2 turns, and then the last person scooped after I started taking out all their rats because they were playing Maronar. So it's like, great. And the blacks. I'm trying to figure out what they're doing. Okay, Broodmoth. Whatever. Broodmoth's a big whatever. Let's go ahead and do Calix. We'll put it on the Naturalist. Not attacking. Because next turn I can start chaining things together. Like I can do Cartouche with Mantle of the Wolf. Or I could just, if I get another white man, I could just jam Halvar. It depends on what I want to do. Uh-oh. Oh, they ditched it. Okay. All right. There's a white mana. Now we got some decisions to make. So they got a bunch of stuff. I think. I think I want to put this on Calix himself. I'm going to put another counter on the Naturalist. And then I'm going to put the Cartouche of Solidarity on the Naturalist too. And then I'm going to put another counter on the Naturalist. So that'll give me a pair of 6/6s, and I'm swinging. And if either one of these connects, I get to copy stuff. So, better start blocking. Or I get goodies. That's the thing about Calix and all the auras that I have in this deck. It's like if any one of them makes contact, you're just screwed. Because there's, especially if I have like a Banishing Light or anything like that out, because if I start copying those, your board's going bye-bye. Yeah, this is all about the toughness. So now I got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage coming my way. Oh no, they tapped the Incubation Druid, so 10 damage. It's alright. Let's see here. Do I just play Halvar? Because that would turn these into double strikers. Yeah, I think I'm going to do Halvar. That's the whole reason he's in the deck. So now we'll just swing. We'll keep that attached to him. And then face is the place. I mean, those, okay. The Naturalist is going to do 12 because it's got double strike, and I'm just going to make a copy of the Mantle of the Wolf and put it on Halvar. Yep. You. Submit. And we'll go ahead and we'll put it here because of a double strike. More damage, more life. So now all of these double strike. And it's like they're not going to want to wipe their board because that's like the whole shtick of their deck. Okay. I don't care. Just keep it attached. So what we got here? 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22? Do I care? No. Because the crackback is lethal, I do believe. Like they blocked the 8/8 and they're still taking just a boatload of damage. I just kind of want to see because they have the 8. They block that with the 3/4 and they block the 7/7. You still have Calix coming through, and I could always just stack up. Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna gain like just a boatload more life this turn. It's just kind of silly. Go-Shintai. I might actually see a copy of Calix come out of that deck because they play more than just shrines in that deck for their enchantments. So it'd be a good thing to use to try to copy things. But I built this specifically in mind with abusing Calix's copying ability if possible. We'll go ahead and do the Arcane Signet. I could have done the Sanctum Weaver, but there's not enough enchantments out for me to really care about it right now. Okay, we did not get another land, which sucks. So what we're going to do is we're going to Harrow on turn. I will smash the plains. I'm going to go get a plains and a forest. And then this turn I will play the Sanctum Weaver off the back of that, since that way we can actually get maximum use out of our mana. Now, if I drew a land, I probably would have face fettered the Elysian Caryatid. Okay, that is problematic, to say the least. All right, let's do Calix, kick this off. And we'll put a counter on himself, because I'm more likely to attack with that than I am the other one. Let's go ahead and face fetters that. We have the mana to do it. We might as well. We'll discard, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I'm going to discard the Hydra Growth. I have not had the opportunity to cast Colossification on anything, but I have cast Ancestral Mask. The mask is just really, really strong. There's another one in there. It's a 1 white and aura that does kind of the same thing, but instead of +2/+2, it gets +1/+1, and first strike. And it's really good too. What the hell is that? Oh, okay. Just an enchantment to double the mana. We don't have any other Hondens down, so we're not going to lose more than 1 card here. So this turn is possibly the Colossification, or it could be the Ancestral Mask. Probably the mask, because I think I want to copy the mask. Because if I do Colossification, I can't copy anything. There's Thrun. It's like, what do I do with that? It's like, if I play Thrun, I can still... Can I? No, I can't. I only have 2 mana available. Let's do the the Ancestral Mask on this. Holy shizzle. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna send Calix at their head. Take action. Yep. We're gonna put it over there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pump that up. Oh, I have the mana to do it. Screw it. That's... I don't care. I don't care. It's funny. Goro-Goro and Satoru. I opened that as my bonus card in my pre-release kit. I really like this hand if I can draw another land. The sucky part is the deck doesn't get to do anything until at least turn 3. And again, it requires us to actually draw a 3rd land to actually do anything. Okay. Not looking good, that's for sure. The boots, you say? Crap. Still no land. That's not good. Time to say a little prayer. Like, come on, land, land. Warfiganugans. No, not land. Alright. We're just gonna jam. Because that's all we can do. Oh, crud. Yep. What does this thing even do again? Hexproof can't be blocked. Okay. I didn't realize we had a Bogle's card in Arena. I'm actually, this is so stupid. I'm actually going to Lauren's Escape because I need to make sure I have something. Oh my god. This is so bad. I scried away a card that probably would have been better to keep. Because it would have, I should have kept it because it would have cantripped off the top of the deck. So bad. Like, they seem to be in the same boat. That's like the only saving grace. Like, it seems like they're screwed for lands too. What the heck does that thing do? Oh, target creature gains indestructible. Okay. They must be playing like some kind of. Oh my god. Stop. Like a ninja type deck. I just don't know how that's going. I can't block either of those, so, and I'm not gonna block him. Unless I have to. I'm being pecked to death by 1/1s. Holy hell, it's a land. What do I do with that fact? Do I play Calix? Do I play... Well, Calix, there's a chance they have Washout in hand, and then Calix would get countered, and then I'd be really screwed. I think I'm going to play In the Trenches. And I'm just going to swing the Twin Blade Geist, because I can't block 3 of the 1/1s, but now I can block the 3/3 with the Destiny Spinner. I know Destiny Spinner keeps Washout from countering, but I think I'd rather have the ability to block that Azra. Or at least keep it from hitting me in the face. Alright, so Face of Divinity is +2/+2, and it has lifelink if it has a second aura attached to it. Oh boy. This is turning into not great things. Because I don't have any way. If I do Calix, that doesn't do me any good. I think I want the Face of Divinity on the Twin Blade Geist. And swing. And I have protection from a removal spell, at least, for the Destiny Spinner. Because if I tap out for Mantle of the Wolf, that's just death as soon as they remove it. Okay. Yikes. I was thinking this was like a ninja deck. This is more like unblockable deck. And we're going to be on the receiving end of death here real quick. If I Banishing Light, I still don't have enough mana. I'm trying to think of like, how can I use the Twin Blade Geist to win? Because that's 8, 9, 10, 11. It's not enough. If I Banishing Light the Azure Smoke Shaper, it's not enough to win. I just played a land, so there's not enough land here. So it's like, I can Banishing Light the... If I gain, that would give me 3, but that'd still be 3 things coming through next. Well, God, this is so irritating. I'm gonna take out the River Sneak. I'm gonna swing with the Geist. Alright, that takes care of that guy. I have Safekeeping. Safekeeping would put me at 4. But they have a counter spell. Well, no, enchantments and creatures is the only thing. I'm gonna do this. If I don't gain this life, okay, I gain the life. I'm at 1. God bless. This is the only reason I'm even standing right now is because of the freaking mana screw that's on the other side of the board right now. If they had any form of mana right now, we'd be just horked. So that's 10, 13, 14, 15, or 13 damage. I think we're still screwed. Yep. Yep. We be hosed. Oh, wait. Is that gonna work? Wait, did that? Oh my god, the copy. Oh, because of the first strike damage. I didn't even realize it because I haven't played this much. the first strike on the double strike part actually just saved our butts. So stupid. Etali. Ugh. I played against Etali earlier this morning and it was not good. That was painful to say the least. But at least in this one, I don't have a color screw issue. We're barring not drawing a third land, we're actually curving pretty well. All right, let's do Satesian Training, just so I can pump up the damage, draw a card. Kami of Transience is pretty good. Might actually play that next just so I can get extra counters on it over Calix. Because we're going to have to push damage like really hard and really fast. So we'll go ahead and play the Kami. They have something because the game is holding priority. I wonder if they have a Beseiju and they're just trying to debate whether or not to use it. All right. Probably playing Calix so I can copy the Satesian Training. And I can put a counter on the Kami of Transience. And actually, I put another one on the Generous Visitor while I'm at it. Go, my Tramplers. And we'll go ahead and copy the training. Yeah, we'll attach it. Actually, we'll attach it here. And we'll put a counter on him. Oh, okay. Got another aura. So yeah, we got the ability to do, we have a couple different aura wielders now. We have a couple different ways of pumping them up. Escape the Wilds isn't going to save you much here. I might just drop Parallel Lives next turn, because then I can get 2 copies of whatever I'm hitting across with. Ding, ding. Dang you. Swing. Good game. Yeah, because this is all shrumpling through. That's 15 damage. That's what the deck's supposed to do. Mondrak. All right, we got tokens. This could be bad. This is one thing I've noticed with this deck is go wide decks can give me fits because I don't run removal for a go wide strat. I run removal for single target. All right, let's get double white since I already have a green in my hand. So next turn is probably Calix, maybe. Actually, it's going to be this and Calix. I'm okay with that. A mana tithe? What the actual hell? Alright. Don't make me start cussing out white players for playing counter magic. Yeah, we're just gonna drop Wake. and swing, because they can't gang block the Naturalist now. Well, I guess they could if they had some kind of white pump spell, which, hey, they're running Mana Tithe in their deck. I could be very, very surprised all of a sudden. Alright. Temple of Palente. Oh, I'll keep that. Guess let's drop Calix. And we'll put the counter on the Segovian Angel. And we'll play... Let's go ahead and do that. We'll just smack them in the air. And then I'm going to actually hold... I was going to play Parallel Lives, but there's no reason to do that because there's a good chance that we just get screwed. And I'd rather have Heroic Intervention and Lauren's Escape available if I need it. Alright. Alright, there's Satesian Training. Let's go ahead and play the Parallel Lives and put a counter on the Segovian Angel. Let's play this. And we'll put more counters on the Angel. Play a land. Go to combat. Swing. They try to gang block. I have Lauren's Escape. And that's fine. Don't want that. I think we're actually quite alright on lands right now. Alright, so that kills one of the angels at least. So that at least absolves us of that pain in the neck. Alright, we're going to be using Heroic Intervention here, because no, you're not nuking my stuff. That's a no. Alright. So we have a land. I'm going to sandbag it. They don't need to know what I do or do not have. So I'm going to come blitzing in with that. That's going to hit. I'm going to copy Parallel Lives? Is that what I copy? Or is it Wake? I'm just trying to think what I would copy here. Actually, it'd probably be the Murray's Wake because I get 2 copies of it and it +3/+3. They didn't like the fact that I was making copies of something, so it's just like. But Wake would have given me +3 or another +2/+2 across the board, and I think they would have been hard up to deal with that. Jin-Gitaxias. I think I've only played against this one other time, and it was kind of, it was all right. I still need to build that deck, but I'm still very reluctant to play mono blue. I am not a blue player. I want to keep that on top because I've yet to actually play that card. It's in the deck because it's Circle White because we have a green in our hand. It's very good with all the auras because that's the biggest thing about auras is getting 2-for-1 where you lose the aura and the thing it's attached to. But if you have ways of mitigating that, then it's a lot of fun. Let's drop Calix and the Segovian Angel. You could do that in either order. I wanted the Calix to be a 3/3, so either way, because if they bounce Calix, it's not a huge deal. I can just recast him, and then it's whatever. Whereas if you put the counter on the Angel and they bounce the Angel, you lose the counter, and you can't redo it with the Calix. So what are they doing? They're reading Calix right now. Hand. Like this, that was the thing I was thinking they might try to do is bounce Calix. And that's fine. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Calix. This time I'm going to put the counter on the Segovian Angel. And then I'm going to actually do the Warbriar Blessing. And I'm going to kill the Palladium Mirror to slow down their shenanigans. And then I'm going to take action, and I will, yeah, I'll go ahead and attach it to Calix. Target himself. Like, whatever. So now I have a couple different ways to try to get copies of things going on the board. If they bounce something or whatever, I can always play Danitha and then recast an aura out of the graveyard, which is the whole idea behind her in the deck in the first place. And sometimes that's actually advantageous depending on what they do. Choice of Fortune. Oh, that's the Seek card. It's like, I've only ever used that card in one deck, and that was my Hide and Seek deck that I did like 2 months ago. Wasn't a particularly good deck, but it was all right. All right, they are tapped out. Let's go Hydra Growth on Calix. And we'll go ahead and put the counter over here. And we'll go ahead and put... While they're tapped down, I'm going to go ahead and play Danitha. So that way, if they start, breaking things, at least I have options. Yes, we're going to take the option here. We're going to copy the Hydra Growth, and I'm going to put it on Danitha. And I'm going to start dumping counters on her, too. Because she's got the keyword soup attached to her that I would prefer to have growing. You took out my Ancestral Mask and my Cathar's Crusade. Not nice. But that's the beauty of Danitha doing this. Boop. We'll go over here because it flies. Oh, that is just nasty. Oh, wow, that was just gross. So we had a 21, it would have been a 21-22 Segovian Angel, and then Danitha. Yikes. Like I said, that was the first time I got to play Danitha. That was kind of nasty. Niv-Mizzet Supreme. This is a first time play against. I have yet to see this one in action, so we'll give this a try because we have Haro. So it can help us get either the white or more green that we need for natural growth, depending on what's going on. Or unnatural growth, I should say. Well, hey, there's an... Oops. Hit my tab key with my fat finger. Alright. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and play this. Let's go ahead and Haro. We'll sacrifice the forest, or no, not the forest, the plains. We'll get a plains and a forest out of the deck. And then I'm going to go ahead and Calix. Alright, they don't have anything in hand. We'll put the counter on the Naturalist, because Calix is more likely to draw hate than the Jukai Naturalist for the time being. Alright, there's the Sedgemoor Witch. I don't have enough mana. Or do I? Oh, I do. I forgot because the Naturalist. I was like, I don't have enough mana to pump Calix up. They gave up on that real quick. So yeah, what I was going to do is I was going to put the All That Glitters on the Jukai Naturalist, and that would have given it +2, 3, so it would have been a 6/6. It would have went to a 12/12. Swung with Calix as a 6/6, and that as a 12/12. They would have had to probably block the Naturalist. Calix would have hit, and I would have copied the Unnatural Growth. So then the next time I had an attack phase, it would have actually doubled, and then doubled again. Zimone and Dina. All right. See what's up here. I haven't seen this one much yet. Oh, there's my ethereal armor. Ooh, and a Kami of Transience. This is actually a really good start. If I had a, well, I have a 3-drop. I actually have. This is actually a 1-2-3 climbing curve, which is really good. Let's just go ahead and shock this in. We'll start off with the Segovian Angel. We'll go to the Kami of Transience, and then I can do Calix. Now, depending on what they get, that might draw some hate. Oh, no black, but they can make black. I was thinking they might try to destroy the Kami, but let's do this on green. Or actually, wait, I have this one. We'll do that. I'll do Calix. So the Kami will grow. And I'll put a counter on the Segovian Angel. And I'll swing with the Segovian Angel. We'll wait on the Kami of Transience just for another turn or two. Because then I can, the next turn, I can either Faith's Fetters the Zimone and Dina, which is really good because then they can't activate it to do anything, or I can just drop this and just smash. Alright, there's Gilded Lotus. Alright, they put something out there. I may need to leave a mana, or leave 3 mana open, because that could be a board wipe. That's not great. That would be +2/+2. Yeah, we'll go with, we'll just do this on the Kami of Transience, and I'll give it a counter with Calix. And it'll get its own counter. Oh, shoot. Okay, never mind. Well, all right. I'm still swinging with the Kami. If they want to double block with some, or yeah, if they want to double block, I'll kill Zimone and Dina. I don't care. All right. Plus, double blocking would tell me that they probably have a board wipe sitting out there, but it could very well just be a, what do you want to call it? The counter spell, the saw it coming. So, oh no, it's the Behold Multiverse. Okay. Makes sense. You're trying to make me lose life and do all the stuff. And it's like, oh, you sacrifice, draw a card, then you get to do the thing twice. My turn. All right. All right. So let's play this on green. If I do Faith's Fetters, I only leave 1 mana open. If I do Rune of Might, that leaves me a little more room. Let's do Rune of Might on Calix. More counter magic, or do we have bounces? All right, we're going to put a counter on Calix. Tempting. No. Son of a... It's frustrating. Yep. They do not control 8 or more lands, so they're not getting a repeat of the process. Okay. We're going to wait on the All That Glitters because I don't want them to have an incentive to blow up whatever I put it on. or bounce it or whatever. Okay, they have empty hand, and I have a trampler that's going to get really, really big here soon, which is good. It's activated abilities, so I can put Faith's Fetters on Zimone and Dina, but then they're going to Spark Double it. Great. All right, so we're gonna Faith's Fetters that Zimone and Dina. That'll give us some life back. I'm gonna Glaring Aegis my Kami of Transience so I can tap their other Zimone and Dina, and I'm gonna All That Glitters this Kami. That should be fatal. Because they can only block 2 off of this, and then the other 2. So it's 14 damage to the face. Etali again. Oh, this will be my 3rd game against Etali today. Sure, we'll try this. We got a little bit of mana acceleration and a removal enchantment in my hand. So like go turn 2 Cold Steel Heart, and if we can do turn 3 Calix and put a Sentinelize on it. I think that's pretty good. We'll do this on white because I have a 2nd green mana in hand, which actually turns into really good because I could do Halvar of a turn after, and Calix turns into a double striker. All right, so let's do Calix. Counter on himself. Sentinelize him. Counter again. All right, so we got a 5/5 with Vigilance that keeps the Dragon Master from hitting me. Alternatively, I could just borrow time next turn and get rid of the Dragon Master Outcast or anything else that's a problem. Okay, so we got the Outcast. Do I just drop Halvar? Is that the play? Or do I hit their hand? You know what? Let's hit their hand. I want to see what's going on up there. Forced Cultivator, Guardian Project, Solemn Simulacrum. Let's get rid of the Solemn. Let's cut the ramp down. And then we're just going to swing. Yep. All attack, face, go. Because they can either block it or I get another Sentinel's Eyes and he gets bigger. I'm okay with that. And end turn. +2/+0 Vigilance. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember what the equipment side of Halvar did. But that's pretty easy. I like the idea of making the Solemn more expensive because then he could just use it as a blocker and get a card off of it later, whereas instead I'm building up a really big threat. If we get a land, I might just do Glorious Sunrise so Calix gains Trample. Okay, we did not get the land. All right. So let's do... What do I do here? Well, I guess swing. That's the starting point. Get rid of that. Because what is this? The beginner of community controls 6 or more lands. Okay, well, we're going to take care of that. And then we'll play the Segovian Angel. It just gives me something else to put more auras and stuff on later. So they're at 6, but that means they can't get the Dragon Master Outcast triggers. So there's their 6 mana Solemn Simulacrum. Not quite as good at 6 mana as it is at 4. We'll have the Glorious Sunrise probably so I can trample through and make a copy of it. Well, I can't do that now. First Strike and Lifelink. Guess, yeah, we'll just do this. We'll just put the Face of Divinity on that and a counter. And go face. So Segovian Angel's enchanted, so now I can create a second copy of Face of Divinity and put it on the Segovian Angel, because she already has Vigilance. So there's no point in copying another Sentinel Eyes. Take action. We'll copy the Face of Divinity. We'll put it on her and a counter. So now she's a first striking, life linking 7/7. So she's almost like some of the big angels you can cast for 7 mana. And she's a 1 mana. There's Etali. What'd you get from me? Oh, you got my Calix. Son of a... Can he use... he doesn't have an enchantment. Can he... I don't even know if he can use that or not. I have to look at it. Come on, give me the thing. You don't control until target enchantment you control. So he can't use it until he plays an enchantment. I was like, oh god, can he target one of my enchantments? Because that would suck. Alright. Halvar, we can kill them this turn. Because the Segovian Angel, done. Stay. Swing. Face. First strike damage is going to hit, and then I get to copy Face of Divinity again, and put another copy on her. And now she's going to hit for 9, 10. Oof. Good game. Ooh. So what did you guys think? I had a lot of fun playing this deck. It was actually very interesting, some of the lines, and I had to think through like when I could do stuff, trying to figure out, okay, if I give this double strike, I can kill them because I can make a copy, and the second damage step's going to do this. And there was a lot of things going on. All in all, I would say there's a few changes I would make. Like, I would probably take Second Harvest out of the deck. It's probably a little too slow. Same thing with Colossification. I mean, it's a fun card, but oftentimes you're either going to blow your opponent out so quick with the stuff they're going to scoop, or, you know, it's just, there's a lot of things going on that it's a little too expensive for what we got going on here. That said, if you have some of these auras and enchantments laying around just rotting in your collection, I would say go ahead and pick up a copy of at least Calix if you don't want to get a hold of Danitha too, and just go ham on people, because there's people they don't want to put up with it. They will scoop. I had so many scoops. It was crazy. Like I'd start casting a couple of auras and they're just like, nope, I'm out of here. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed the deck, and I will see you in the next video.